One coach, Brian Murray, said this series will be defined by chances off the rush. Lindy Ruff, a little more succinctly, said it's going to be a track meet, so expect up and down the ice action.
Well, Buffalo's been turning heads all season long with its offensive numbers, and in round one, the highlights kept coming for Daniel Briere and Chris Drury.
It was an offense by committee, but the co-chairs were Briere and Drury. They saved their best for the playoffs. Briere scored the game winner in double overtime. He makes the most of limited ice time. He doesn't play too much, but he makes the most of it. Drury, he seems to make the most of it when it matters most. Take a look at what he does both offensively and defensively. He's the catalyst for them.
Now, Ottawa can play it any way you like. If you want to trade chance for chance, however, boy, they can be scary with Martin Havlat and Jason Spezza.
The highest scoring team in the league. They're very comfortable trading chances with you. Martin Havlat added to the mix. When you take a look at what he did, missing 58 games, he comes into the postseason and scores in every single playoff game, the first 5 against the Bolts. He's a slasher, he's a fast skater, and he has some finish, as you see there. The other guy, Jason Spezza, very creative in the offensive zone. Yes, he can score. Nice shot there in round one. His second goal, he only scored 2, but he had 10 points. He's an assist man first. Of his 10 points, 8 on the power play. He is great at even strength, better on the power play, lethal in fact, when they're up a man.
The players and the fans inside of this building absolutely revved up for game number 1 on OLN. I would say it's got to be some kind of chilly at ice level, but Senators fans are feeling ready for game number 1. Darren, these two teams bear a striking resemblance to each other when it comes to matters of offense.
Yeah, we talked about it in the first segment. They like to push the pace. It's all about the attack. No sitting back when you talk about Buffalo and the Ottawa Senators. And look what it led to. The top offensive team and the number 5 offensive team in the regular season. And then the same thing held true in the first round. It's not about a mismatch numerically offensively. It's all about execution. So says Lindy Ruff because of those numbers.
Now, the Senators' top marksman is Danny Heatley. And just a few minutes ago, Bob Harwood got to him along the boards.
All right, Joe, thank you. Danny, you had a week off. Buffalo's on a bit of a rhythm right now. They played just 3 nights ago. Any concern about rust, or were you able to stay sharp in practice this week?
I think our practice have been good. We've been trying to stay sharp, and we're ready to go.
Can you tell us a bit about how Brian Murray has asked everybody to contribute offensively, but even for guys like yourself, responsibilities at the other end of the ice as well?
Playoffs are a game where you have to play both ends, and all 4 lines have to contribute. And the first series we did that, and we have to continue to do that.
Can you give me a sense of the emotions for you finally getting to the playoffs and on a team that has cup expectations?
It's a lot of fun to be in here. It's a great building in the playoffs, and it's great to play hockey. This is why you play.
No jitters?
Never.
They're out of his system. Danny, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
It is the Senators and the Sabres separated by just 3 points in the standings. Finesse, a lot of firepower. There were bang bodies as well. It's game 1 of their second round clash, the Stanley Cup playoffs on OLN. Okay, Bill, thank you. Wade, we shouldn't be surprised that this one was almost like a boxing match, exchanging body blows early on.
Yeah, they jumped out, got that quick one, and we were able to bounce back with a few. And I think both teams were a little, on edge, weren't playing as good as they could. We want to come out in the second, obviously, get the nerves out of you and be ready for the second.
Surprised to hear you say the word nerves in terms of this veteran core, but I guess a week away from enemy competition gets you a little bit on the edgy side.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as you think a lot about it, you got a lot of time to think about it. So to get out there and get our feet under us and get going again, that was a good period for us, and we can build off it.
Breakout is one thing in terms of what you guys can do as defensemen to get the offense going. What does it do to an opposition that loves to forecheck? Do they need to be a little more cautious going into your zone?
Well, that's the idea, is to back them off. I mean, teams want to get in and pressure and create turnovers. We can get going the other way. It's going to back them off a bit, and that's what our goal is.
Wade, thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Bill.
Period 2-2 after 1. Joe Beninati with Darren Elliott for more of the NHL on OLN with the Stanley Cup playoffs. Darren, which team initiated the contact in the first?
It was all Ottawa Senators. That was the only sign of intensity other than the offense, and there was lots of offense early and often. Play right here. Derek Roy slides across crease, tap in for Mike Greer, and once again, Sabres score the first goal of the playoff game, but Heatley turns passer, Spezza turns scorer, and they tie it up, and skating 4-on-4. Tough play right here. Kalinder doesn't have his hockey stick, so he cannot play Smolinski. He goes up 2-1 to the Senators on that goal, and then on a long-range slapper that deflects off Chara, It's all tied 2-2. Take a look at right here. It hits the left skate and just a shaft of the stick for Zdeno Chara. So it's 2-2. Lots of scoring in that first period.
Just about set to start the second period. Here's Bob with Lindy Ruff.
Joe, thank you. Lindy, if you were pleased, and I'm assuming you were, at intensity at one end, a little concerned about passiveness at the other?
Well, that we, we came out pretty hard in the game. I thought we made some mistakes 4-on-4. We had a defenseman lose his stick and gave him an opportunity. But I thought overall for a first period, and they're building a pretty good period.
Do you preach feeling out process at all, or is it open things up, guys, and just test yourselves as a group right now?
No, we talk about playing our game, and part of our game is moving your feet, getting the puck deep, but trying to create the opportunities, and then being reliable in your own zone.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, Joe.
Barn burner Central in Ottawa. 2-2 after the first, 4-4 after the second, 8 total goals. We're going to look at some of them.
8-8 after the third, maybe.
That's right. We'll see you tomorrow morning when it's 24-24. All right, pick it up at 2-2.
Martin Havlat up the middle. He doesn't make any mistakes when he gets room like that. What a beautiful goal. Tucks it around the outside edge of the leg.
Then Tim Connolly short-handed around Alfredson. Watch the moves this guy makes onto the backhand, past Ray Emery. Looks off the pass, puts it under the stick of Redden, and up underneath the blocker of Ray Emery. What a goal.
That's an unexpected goal, because when Redden did such a good job to push Connolly to the outside, that shouldn't go in. But then Danny Heatley, who doesn't miss from in close, 50 goal scorer during the regular season, 100 points, he got free, made it 4-3. There's Heatley off to the side, bad angle, up top, exactly what you're supposed to do in that scenario, up over the goalie.
And then look at the time left in the period, 30 seconds, when Derek Roy finishes off his second of the playoffs. 3 points for Roy in this game, a goal and 2 assists.
So just 4-4. That's all. Typical tight, defensive, close-checking playoff game. Not. Ryan Miller's allowed 4 goals on 20 shots, and Ray Emery 4 goals on 12 shots. Yikes. Little different situation this round. By the way, Martin Havlat, longest goal-scoring streak to start a playoff season since Pat LaFontaine, Buffalo, 1992, scored in 7 straight games. That's what Martin Havlat's accomplished. But the Buffalo Sabres, they always look as if they're poised and ready to jump on offense.
Even when they're shorthanded. What a great goal that Tim Connolly scored. They waited. They looked offensively. As soon as that puck turned over, you'll see them go on the offense. It's not just Connolly who picks the puck out. It's Gausted that drives it loose. Alfredson pinches, and they're off to the races. But Gausted, no hesitation, going to the front of the goal. And, of course, a highly gifted player, Tim Connolly, with a highly gifted move. So a big goal for Buffalo.
And Tim Connolly's only one of the few interesting guys on the Buffalo Sabres who have really come through and done some great things for them in the playoffs. I mean, I think Connolly's done an outstanding job. He's scored some of those beautiful goals we've seen in the playoffs this year. So you have Connolly, and then you have Mike Greer. Mike Greer has really kind of surprised me in these playoffs. He's played really physically in that last period. He just whacked Wade Redden into the boards. He's got a goal and an assist already. 5 points in the playoffs. Those are the kind of guys who got to get things done. Derek Roy's got 3 points already in this game. He's got 6 points in his last 2 games. So that goes back to the theory of what we talked about with Buffalo, that all the lines kind of look the same, and you get different elements from different guys. But guys like Connolly stepping through in shades of Gilbert Perreault 25 years ago and some of the goals he scored.
Yeah, they look the same, but they can all hurt you, right?
Yeah.
Back, lots of offense in the first game of our doubleheader. The game has been tied 4 different times. The last man to tie it, Derek Roy of the Buffalo Sabres, and he's with Bob Harwood.
All right, Bill. Derek, would you say the theme is don't quit because anything can happen?
Well, that's it. You know, they have a lot of offense over there, and we just got to keep skating, keep getting pucks in deep, and we gave them a little bit too much momentum on the power play, and I think we just got to keep it simple and minimize their chances.
We've seen a lot of Ottawa's defensemen join the rush tonight. You guys are starting to benefit from that as well. What does it do in terms of options when it comes from a defenseman leading the charge?
Oh, well, definitely opens up a lot of play, and you know, sometimes the other team over back checks, and the fourth D is wide open in the middle. So I think you know, keep getting our D joined in the offense, and you know, back check hard because their D are joining.
This team doesn't seem to have much of a panic button. Did you at all worry about contributing only 5 or 6 goals in as far as scoring is concerned against Philadelphia? Did it take you a while to get on a roll personally?
I think so. I thought you know, our job, me and Michael Greer and Chris Dreher, our job was to shut down the Forsberg line. And I think I concentrated a little bit too much on that instead of playing my game. And you know, my game is to skate and create chances. And you know, tonight, you know, our line's skating really well, so we just got to keep going.
Derek, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Bill. All right, Joe, thank you. John, I can imagine that breakdowns were addressed in the intermission, and you expect Buffalo to continue pressing.
Well, I think Buffalo's going to play their up-tempo game and stuff, but our breakdowns, or we were thinking of as sloppy play, we're just making some poor decisions, and just not playing quite as responsible as we should.
Is this a test for the youth that you were involved in bringing up from Binghamton a year ago? Do you like what responsibilities they've gotten late in the season and in the playoffs?
Well, I think they were together as a group last year with success, and they've been together for the most part here. Most of these guys have been here all year, and I think they've grown with the team, and they've learned from the leaders of Alfredson and Redden and Scher and Phillips to play responsible and how good an opportunity this is.
John, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, Joe.
All right, we got some interesting numbers here. First of all, the fastest 4 goals to start a playoff game in 6 years. 3 goals in the last minute and 26 seconds of the game. And how about this? This game was tied 6 different times. It's 6-6 right now. That ties the NHL playoff record that was set in 1985, 21 years ago, by the Quebec Nordiques and the Montreal Canadiens. And I didn't mean to malign your Western Michigan education earlier, but your crystal ball, you're the guy that said last goal is going to win.
Well, is it fun to watch the offense that these two teams have? The chances have been phenomenal. The goaltenders must be shaking their head, because if you look at the opportunities, it's not like they've played poorly, although Emery chipped that one out that he probably should have had smothered. But the goaltenders have played well. So many odd man rushes, so many offensive opportunities. It's what you want to watch in the new NHL.
Well, that's true. It's a combination of some really good offensive plays, a couple of goals that the goaltenders would certainly like to come back, and a lot of mistakes. I mean, guys are jumping up on plays when they shouldn't. Shorthanded goals are a sure sign that things are going wrong, and especially late in the game when Ottawa was in the power play and they gave up that shorthanded goal. You saw Brian Murray behind the bench, and he's going, oh my goodness. Like, I don't think either coach can really believe what's gone on in this hockey game.
Actually, Buffalo scored two shorthanded goals, right? Tim Connolly got one, and Derek Roy has the other one. Brian Smolinski scored on a power play. Danny Heatley scored on a power play. So Buffalo's more dangerous when they're down a man, and Ottawa's more dangerous when they have the man advantage. Looking ahead to overtime in a 6-6 hockey game that has not been well played defensively, I mean, do we look for a sloppy start, or is there's no switch at this point, is there, for the coaches to get things? The cows are out of the barn.
Absolutely not. I can't imagine the goalies are feeling too confident either. No. I think this game will be over quickly.
Both teams have been victim of standing around at certain times, and that's probably the way it's going to end.
Obviously, somebody's going to get to stand around and watch the winning goal. We just don't know when it's going to happen. Ottawa and Buffalo tied at 6. They're heading to overtime.
Bill, thank you, Tim. 2 brilliant puck-moving teams that are getting all the late-game success with banging away. No surprise, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a battle back and forth. No team's giving up. The momentum has changed.
Joe Beninati, Darren Elliott with you. You having fun?
Oh, emotional roller coaster.
I have a feeling you would be. I would imagine that you don't think overtime is going to last very long.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, these goaltenders have not given you any indication that they're going to steady themselves and right themselves.
How about the last 2 minutes of regulation when things really went haywire in the third?
And here's why. They had chances to win the game. Nope. Tied up. Short-handed, Derek Roy. But right back. Come the Sens, and they have a lead. Brian Smolinski. Just a little over a minute to go in the game. But this is the one. Off the end boards. To the front, it's in your feet, it's under your glove. No, it isn't. It's the back of the net. If you're Ray Emery, you'll be thinking about that one. Connolly knifes it home.
Such a maddening night. Have a look at how this game is played out. We started with a lightning bolt, 3 tallies before the game was 4 minutes old, and then we finished up with a flourish in the third.
Goaltenders can come back from that first 3 goals, but the last 3 goals that we just showed you in that span showed you they never found footing in this game. This guy, he's had it going on in terms of finding his footing. Derek Roy, 5, count them, 5 points here this evening.
He had the 3 points in the clincher against Philly in Game 6. He's got 2 goals and 3 assists tonight. And Ryan Miller, the stomach acid has got to be churning inside now. Same for Ray Emery, 6-6 through 60 minutes.